Thank you everybody for joining us. This is NKR Panel 2, DPRK Culture and History. And our first presenter is Ms. Muchun Liao from King's College London. And the topic will be North Korea media online.
So the new approach is believed to make outsiders like us to consider the country. North Korea is just as normal and peaceful as any other country in the world. After all, for decades, the image foreigners have for of North Korea at the first set are mainly violent, human rights, military parades, massive tests, and bombast state media. So the new strategy moved away from the heavy propaganda of the old days to a new modernized video blogging style, mainly presented by young modern females and children, and sometimes men, young modern men. So I identified some of the representative figures from this from their videos. I found some, but they are not all. So they are online, Jinghui, Hong Xiaoyan, Yang Yixin, Rui Suju, and Song Ai, etc. The first four are young North Korean females, and the last two are just primary school students. I found there are a few North Korean social media accounts on Chinese sites, but today I'm just going to talk about two because they are the most popular one I can find. The first one is I take you to Koyu. So as of 8th of November, this account already got 55.4 thousand followers on Weibo and 1,231 followers on Bilibili. So Weibo and Bilibili are just Chinese Twitter and YouTube. And China implemented a new social media policy this year, either in late April or early May. So now all accounts on Chinese social media must now show their current IP address. So thanks to this policy, we can now confirm this account operator is based in Liaoning province, northeast parts of China, which is close to North Korea border. So on Weibo, this account shares North Korean lifestyle videos, such as natural sceneries, North Korean culture and domestic products, and etc. It also posts some of North Korea daily social news and also official news and statements. It also reposts content related to North Korea as well. And on Bilibili, it just simply posts North Korean lifestyle videos, but the amount of their videos on Bilibili are less than their post on Weibo. So here I attached a screenshot of its account on Weibo. This one is its profile on the homepage. So as of 8th of November, 173.6 thousand people reposted, commented, and liked this post, and 619,000 people played these videos. And on 7th of November alone, at least 100,000 people read this post. And this is just its homepage on Bilibili. It just have 40 contents on its platform. It's not very active on this platform. And the second account, it's NewDPRK. If we just see from the numbers of followers, this account is far more successful and popular than the one I take you to call you. So as of 8th of November, the account already got 763.5 thousand followers on Weibo and 80,000 followers on Bilibili. The account is based in Jiangsu province, which is next to Shanghai. And on Weibo, this account also shares North Korean lifestyle videos, but it posts more stuff regarding current and non-North Korean social and political news. And sometimes it even posts many personal views and films. And on Bilibili, this account also shares North Korean lifestyle videos. This includes school, university activities, visiting factories, and sites and shops, etc. And for this account, it's like half private account. Only followers can read its entire post. And although these two accounts both share North Korean lifestyle videos, I still found 4 quite distinct differences between the two accounts. So the first difference is NewDPRK's video style is more consistent. The editing style is more formal and more bureaucratic, I would say. And the contents go more in detail. The second difference is that NewDPRK's video are led by a more diversified group of characters, including some young women, a young man, and sometimes a primary school student called Ryu Soju. And the third difference is NewDPRK is really active on Weibo. It posts and reposts worldwide anecdotes, social news, political affairs, and even some personal feelings. I recently followed this account on Weibo myself for writing this paper, so I found at least in this month, NewDPRK posts many stuff that's not related to North Korea at all. They kind of like discussing Chinese social news and some personal criticisms about Chinese COVID regulations. And the last difference is about the language. NewDPRK's videos are mainly spoken in Korean, with some exceptions in Chinese. But most of I Take You to Call You's videos were spoken in Chinese, or at least with Chinese subtitles. So those are the so this is NewDPRK's homepage on Weibo. As of 8th of November, 4.8 million people reposted, commented, and liked this post, and 125 million people played the video. And just the day before 8th of November, at least 1 million people read this post yesterday. So this is its homepage on Bilibili. If you can see a yellow flash logo here, it says this account won the 5th Bilibili New Star program. And the yellow, the pink sector below, it says, so 50 people charged for it, which means 50 people contribute some money to this account just because they like this account. So those are the key facts I think is important to know. And now let me explain the possible purpose for this new media strategy. The first one I can think of is to soften and rebrand its national image overseas, especially in China. Because although the two countries are the closest allies, Sino-North Korean relations have worsened considerably for events such as North Korea's continuous missile test and the purge of Jung and the assassination of Kim Jong-un, whom both maintained good relations with Beijing. And these events surely increased Beijing's impatience with Pyongyang. So as a result, there are more and more online debates among Chinese military elites and scholars about whether China should abandon North Korea. Ever since, I think, 2010. So I think this would surely not be ideal for Pyongyang because such public expressions of animosity towards North Korea enable China to express its tolerance as limitation. And also, Christensen argues that public opinion can actually restrict policymakers in Beijing. So although Beijing is not currently under direct threat from its netizens, when making its North Korea policy, it is uncertain if it will happen in the future. Because I think in the last decade, Beijing has shown a growing interest in monitoring online public opinion about North Korea, and therefore improving its negative image for Pyongyang becomes really necessary. The second purpose, it's kind of related to the first one, is to cultivate more North Korean sympathizers abroad. So for North Korea, they probably already aware that it is nearly impossible to overturn the negative perceptions of the US or South Korea towards it anytime soon, and therefore attracting other countries or smaller countries to work with North Korea is more promising in the short term. Because although this country cannot provide same level financial or material aid as US and South Korea do, they are more willing and they have more room to cooperate with North Korea. And the third purpose is perhaps to make foreign money. Because I think we all probably know, or at least I feel it's a public secret, that the Pyongyang regime constantly needs foreign currency, especially dollars, to maintain its regime stability. But because of the tightening sanctions and border closure resulting from the pandemic, the regime is facing a shortage of foreign currency. Therefore, making money from social media can be an alternative or attractive way for North Korea. So according to a report written by Wall Street Journal in 2018, North Korea made approximately 1 million revenues from software development projects using fake social media accounts. So for this reason, some argue that social media monetization is a loophole to sanctions, making North Korea benefit from it. So I think from what I just mentioned, I believe it is fair to say North Korea accounts are quite active on Chinese social media, and they're also quite successful in operation, especially compared to their presence on Western sites. They have more followers and they allow viewers to leave their comments. I also checked NewDPRK's NewDPRK's account on YouTube. This comment sector is completely turned off. And also for those comments, I found the comments on Chinese media sites are relatively neutral and friendly. I identified 4 typical narratives. So some people just simply raise their sincere and curious question about, or just praise the content itself. And some people just say how familiar they feel between the familiarity between the 2 countries. And the last 2 type of narratives often come together. So whenever some people question this account's political purpose or just ridicule the content and North Korea in general, there are always some people stand up for or even speak for North Korea. I listed an example from what it's like to eat burgers in North Korea from NewDPRK, posted on 15th of October 2019. So this my direct translation from the comments, but basically they belong to the last typical narratives, which these people criticize other comments who ridiculed North Korea in general and say we shouldn't do that. We have like no rights to that because China was like that, only channels like that until, I don't know, 40 years ago, 30 years ago. So in conclusion, I think North Korea's new media policy is to some extent quite effective, at least on Chinese sites. And for this conclusion, I can think of 2 other questions, which I think is important. It's kind of forced to further explore. The first one is why the same account received very different feedback on Chinese and Western social media platforms. Was it because of the education differences? I was born and raised in China until I was 16, 17. And from my own experience, I didn't really hear many or too negative stories about North Korea. Of course, we make fun of their leaders, like we give them are the sorting nicknames. But the thing we discussed most, I think, were different, like the similarity between the two countries, how North Korea today is similar to China in the 1950s. Or was it because those videos are particularly designed to show to Chinese audience? Like I just said, most of I Take You to Korea's videos were spoken in Chinese. There were 40, I think I checked almost everything for videos. Only 1 or 2 were spoken not in Chinese, but it's still with Chinese subtitles. And the second one is, does this new social media policy signal the regime's more openness or just simply a better propaganda strategy? I mean, it's formal. But the negative feedback from the Western media sites discouraged North Korea from coming out of its shell. Or if it's later, were the successful case on Chinese sites help North Korea to make a more ambitious strategy in reaching a more broader market? Well, I think for this, it's gonna raise a huge concern for the West. That's all for my presentation today. Thank you for listening.
To make it simple, let's have a maybe a couple of Q&A for this presentation while it's still fresh in people's heads. Does a discussant have any questions or comments?
Yeah, thank you for the very informative and enlightening presentation. I work here, but I'm not actually unfortunately, I'm not the expert on North Korea, but I'm running some kind of special lecture series on North and South cultural exchanges and cooperations. So while I'm running this program, I found that there are a lot of YouTube videos run by North Koreans, mostly dubbed in English, or the English-speaking North Korean birds is taking the videos and introducing for live stream. So I know that there are some changes in the North Korea's approach to these social media, but I didn't know well about this Chinese web situations. But while I was reading this and I listened to your presentations, I got some questions because it would be much better for you to make clear some of things in your paper. The first thing is that it's not clear because I'm not familiar with the Chinese website, and my Chinese language is very basic, so it is really difficult for me to find the sources that you're saying in here. So it would be much better for you to put these like links or something when you talk about it.
It's just the homepage, so you just open that page and you will show. So it doesn't really have. Oh, you mean the website link for the account?
Right.
Okay, I see.
And also you're saying that these the accounts are operating in some provinces, in some cities in the China. So but maybe, because I couldn't find it, but maybe the videos are taken in North Korea, right?
Yeah, but I mean it's just
so I mean the operators and the host of the videos are different.
Yeah, because so right now, like almost on every Chinese social media, you can see the account holder's current IP address. So that's what I saw from their homepage.
So does that mean somebody in China is uploading videos for them?
Yeah, I think they either hired a company to do that, or just some North Korean people living in China are doing that.
So because when I watch like North Korean YouTube videos on YouTube, I was so wondering who are these people, because some accounts seems like created in North Korea, but some accounts have this Chinese name, but it's not sure whether they are hired or whether they're just like Chinese people who want to make some money from North Korean videos. So I was wondering which one is so if you can answer this, I would be really appreciated. And the second thing, the strategies you suggested, I think you're right, but mostly just like inferring. So I would suggest you to provide more evidences. For example, like the first thing, the Chinese Chinese government is more interested in monitoring, censoring, and manipulating. You said that the North Korean public opinions about North Korea, but and also we can infer that because Chinese government is getting more strict about what North Korea is doing right now. So probably North Korean government trying to change it, but it would be much better if you can provide some of the, for example, like statements from North Korean government or so it's just like infer. There's no evidence. This is just circumstantial kind of evidence that you suggested. So if you think of if you're reasoning, I think you're logically right, but I wonder if you can provide some other evidence that can confirm that your the arguments. And also I'm wondering what you meant by this. What Chinese government is interested in monitoring, censoring, manipulating public opinion in North Korea, and so whether they are doing something on these accounts you have mentioned, right? Because you said that Chinese government is monitoring, censoring, and manipulating public opinions of North Korea, but these are the most active North Korean social media accounts in China. So whether the Chinese government do something on these accounts or not.
You mean this North Korea account?
Yeah, because you said that if Chinese government is trying to, interested in, monitoring, censoring, and manipulating, probably they want to do something with this account, right? No?
Oh, what I mean by monitoring, it's they monitoring and censoring everybody's account. It's not just this account.
Right.
They're just monitoring the keywords related to North Korea in general.
But then I'll change the question. So is it okay for Chinese government for North Korean accounts trying to change their images in China?
Well, if you mean the government's thoughts, I don't really know, but I mean this account looks fine right now on Chinese sites. It looks just like as normal as other accounts.
Okay, so it's tolerated for now.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
It's just they're monitoring keywords that are related to North Korea. Like once, I think it was like for at least 5 years or something. So Kim Jong had a nickname on Chinese sites called
there, right?
It's called King Third Fat or something. But it was tolerant for a few years. After I think it was 7 years ago or something. So North Korea found out that, and they told the Chinese government they don't like this name. So from now on, we cannot say that word again on Chinese sites.
All right. One more minor thing. I was really wondering how much money they can make from these accounts. So maybe if you put that in your paper, it would be also better for the readers to understand how it is important for North Korean government.
Yeah, I didn't read everything there, but I did read a few news about North Korea's cryptocurrency revenues. They made millions of dollars.
Right.
So, and they're still
right. But it is well known that there's hackers are very active, and they also do related to this kind of cryptocurrencies. But I mean, because you argue that this is one of the reasons why they're operating this, social media's account in China. So probably if you can provide the number, it will be much easier for the readers to understand better.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we need to move on. Is there any other questions or comments from our online audience or in-person audience?
Yes.
Yes.
Talk a lot about-
Oh, can you come here?
Oh,
네, 여기 잠깐 앉으세요.
you-
네, 네. 여기 앉으세요.
Okay, as you talk a lot about Chinese media, but your topic is about going overseas. So how North Korea promote its image in overseas accounts, just like YouTube or other type of social media, just like YouTube, Twitter, and so on. Do you know? Do you cover something about?
No,
that?
this one is just like a case study of China in
Only
particular.
China, okay. So maybe
Because I didn't read long papers. So.
maybe in the future you can talk about this because I'm also curious about how North Korea promote its image abroad, because you mostly talk about China one.
Yeah, because I also checked this accounts on Western media sites like YouTube. But here, no, too many people already buy this.
Can I just add one more question on it? So like you mentioned that why there's different kind of reactions from Western social media and Chinese, but I was wondering whether they used, I mean, the same accounts both in China and Chinese website and YouTube, or they just they have similar accounts on YouTube and the Chinese website.
NewDPRK, they have
Both.
yeah,
on
and
YouTube
the contents I checked
Okay.
are mostly the same.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
We also have one question from a member of the audience. So
My name is Firstyarinda. Okay. Thank you for the presentations. I love to hear the progress of how North Korea give their efforts to the global citizens toward the media. I would like to add related to the purposes. You mentioned that the North Korea tend to achieve 3 purposes in your paper. The first one is to soften negative image. The second one is to cultivate more North Korean, and the third one to need to make foreign money. I would like to add some suggestions related to the data. Maybe you can choose certain tools to identify and analytic the trend of followers and the trend of monetizations of that account that could be achieved from certain tools. So you can get more accurate data related to how many followers and from what countries are they, and then the money, the monetizations too. I think that's for the inputs to the paper. Thank you.
I had a quick question and comment as well as a 2 questions. I think it'd be interesting if you compare both Chinese and English versions of the NK websites. And the second thing is you can do maybe content analysis of the comments, user comments. And so I noticed so you have Chinese user comments, like, Chinese users who are commenting are North Koreans commenting. Like because you have North Korean operators, right? In Jiangsu province. And so are they replying back to the comments?
Yeah.
They are?
Yeah. No, yeah, they are. And also they sometimes post on Weibo, what else do you guys want to watch or read? I was gonna film that.
Sure. If you do that, because you can do contact theory, right? Contact theory or direct contact theory or indirect contact theory, which is that by interacting with each other, you can shape each other's attitudes. Okay, and so this seems like North Korea is historically is very isolated, right? So this seems like a really very exciting, innovative way for at least some North Koreans to interact with foreigners. So I'd be very interested by analyzing the user comments, how they interact with Chinese and how they interact with Westerners in the English sites.
But they turned off their comment sector on YouTube. They don't allow comments, any comments.
Or they turn it off.
Yeah, they don't allow any comments.
Who does not allow?
North Korea.
the
Like-
uploader.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
account
yeah,
owner.
yeah. Like
Ah.
NewDPRK.
Yeah.
their channel on YouTube, you cannot make any comments.
Oh,
Yeah, you can turn it off when you upload a video.
Yeah.
okay.
The owner can, yeah.
Oh, I see. So there's no way for users to interact
Yeah.
at this time?
Yeah, and also
Okay.
I checked another North Korean account on YouTube by a little girl called Songai. I think she's quite popular recently.
Yeah.
And you cannot make any comments too
I see.
on
So,
YouTube.
right, so it's still limited. Okay. Okay, great. I have more comments, but maybe after the
Yeah.
session. Okay, so we need to move on. Actually, Dr. Hyunguk, are you here?
Okay, my start. Today, my topics title is Change in Typography, accompanying a historical transit of the newspaper publication in North Korea at 1945-1990. I want to say that the typeface selling goods carries Korean speed history and technology. Each one of the typeface is only tiny skewer shaft frame made of alloy. However, together they make a sentence once in print into a book to pace people's eyes and shine their spirit, it support their will. Statement is influence society around move the country. It would be fair to say that the development and dissemination of the Hangul typeface from the 20th century to modern times lead to Korean modernization. This slide is let us start with a brief report on current situation related announcement. For 30 years, I have published journals in 30 overseas countries, including Japan and Korea, China, and America. Publication and analyze Korean language materials. Today, President will be summarizing his interest relating the research result is fact for 70 changing modern and contemporary Hangul typeface history over the past 30 years. I want to examine major importance Hangul typeface research and suggest rural historical research to develop the Hangul typeface in the future. I'm sorry, and it's worthy today, President surveyed upon niche for criticism and interest in Hangul font. Finally, will be visible question, answer, video, and simple question. Question is difficult to understand is tend to answer actually due to time. So I hate this contact you by email and you'll be repost kindly. This one is both Hangul typeface, is Galaxy Hangul typeface. Kim Jong-un, a chairman of the States is appeal common Kim Jong-un stresses importance of printing type saying E cannot think of is being spread from the civilization like our people today. This method is we have decided on 3 standards font currently used in North Korea. Charlimache. Charlimache is a Gothic style. Changbongche is Korean calligraphy. And Gangmyeongche is similar is Japanese Chinese character form. The text define and artist type. Artist type is design type same mean. Using Pengyangche, Plugche is Pengyang, a proper stroke in the old style, print pattern in design style and include art. While plus type as print style is mainly used the calligraphic field, the text publication is artist typeface is primarily used in various industrial art design, including its trademark in sign design. In particular, this artist typeface display as interior rule developing enlightenment throughout the socialist culture, which favored the sharpest form and decorate its characters stroke in various political form. Today, my topic is main is number 3, characters of typography in North Korea leading typeface. Leading typography is Rodong Shinmun, Rodong newspaper, and 민주 청년 as democratic youth. Introduction. The history is the Soviet communication revolution in the early 20th century has already been fully demonstrated in the development of previous society into socialist society and its political through education. Type printing has been considered as vulnerable compared with North Korean research era. Looking at previous states, only people is continuous states in North Korea media on the overall media policy structure of the loss. The primary reason for North Korean is print markers. Print markers is a logotype and sign, and the design researchers shallow this restricted access North Korean literature data, which come from the text ordinary people can easily access North Korea print materials. Experts must go slow to complicate to produce seeing them in picture. Expert and public will be more interested in history, North Korea type cultural design culture, and the research field will be enriching accordingly. Purpose and this message research objective. North Korea's newspaper has been used as a mirror of party. Nodong-dang was for 3 generations Kim Il-sung, a general society Kim Jong-il, and secret in organization the Kim Jong-un is practices part Seoul ideal system. Therefore, we invest the characters for typography accompanied by historical transformation of North Korean newspapers. Analysis can be from just understand the history of printing culture of society. Vertical writing in history of modern typing through historical transformation North Korean newspaper. Horizontal writing in a vertical combination. Combination is typesetting. Is historical data have been implemented strict association of the record. Ordinarily, the study accesses practical possibly a foundation of the research change between South and North Korea in history. Korea letter print culture and examine its meaning. This one is the Lenin is Korea Iskura newspaper 1920. And Lenin is point out the first expression to come to mind and understand. North Korean newspaper is newspaper was not only collective propaganda instigator, but also collective organization. Iskura theoretically become the most successful underground Russian newspaper 50 years. This year is letterpress is a printing house. A very rare picture. First Norodom origin name is Jung. November 1, 1945. It was published once format mixed with Korean and Chinese character. Its size format 200, 395, and the surface printing plate. Printing plate is one column is 10 characters. From January 26th of the year 11 columns, one column 90 characters. It includes 9 characters. Plate surface change for side travel every from March 1 and from May 28 is surface printing plate 410 is 540 is expanded to large side. Is this one? Is two largest side. Jung was published August 30, 1946, published until its remained Rodong Sinmun September 1, 1946. In text, okay. This is in Jung newspaper. This one is November 45. Very interesting is this type as Hangul, Korea. It's Jung no. This is vertical writing is right and left is Jung no. It's it's this vertical system is right and left as a move. This one, this one, this one is this is Korean and Chinese character. And 46 in text at Korean Ming style is 명조체, number 5, 3.6 milli of the make an Hachida type foundry in Gyeongsang, present in Seoul, and the Chinese Ming style number 5, same to length. At Tokyo Chikichi type foundry were used Hangul and Chinese characters Kodi. Name is Chalima, number 5 as 36.3. He used to mark date of publication newspaper. Chinese character here, Jung no. Chinese characters number 1, 9.49. Hangul number 3, this one, number 3, Jung. Number 4, this one is used. Very interesting is change. Is a Chinese character from is Ming style. Is changing is logo type. The title logo type is the Kojik style. 1946 March 1 change. 노동신문 6 type setting improvement. My analysis result. First, this one is this one format. This one as a plate surface is 50 columns is 1 column is 10 characters. The second round is 1950 June 16. This is Korean vertical edition, horizontal writing title and the vertical paper in the text. Most scientific change vertical and horizontal mixed format centered Hangul. Then third changes, third round and 1954 newspaper change Korean Gothic style. Number 3 is according type size format. This one is for light plate surface 1 column, 24 characters. Yes, 24 characters. Is for the writing horizontal exclusively for Hangul. Very important is number fourth round, June 1957 is full pages Korean horizontal writing style. We have a confirmation is this 1944 is only vertical typesetting and is full pages is Korean horizontal writing style. At the same time, title 노동신문 is changed from the exciting prose type to the beautiful typeface. Looking at typeface side format, this one is plate surface, this 1 column. Yes, 5 around is 1974. Is 6 page. It's 6 page changes. It's looking typeface. Okay. Next slide. Next slide. Type. The notation is typeface is the 6th typeface improvement. We have confirmation is typesetting is changed for typeface change. a very important meaning. This one is Ming style, and this Korean lattice Gothic style is monthly type. It's a similar form is the kanji character, 민초다이, as then 천리마, Gothic. It's Gothic style at the 청봉체, 청봉, as a fold Ming style. This one is changing. Look at this since 1970 vertical types that is mixed Korean change types. We have a confirmation this paper. This one, the writing T1. This one, since it's a political propaganda, is also as appeared in newspaper. The most scientific change on vertical and horizontal mixed. This one and this one is horizontal. This one text. All text is vertical typesetting. 1954 vertical and horizontal mixed format Hangul. 1904 4 months ago, writing horizontal is Hangul changing. 노동신문, this one. Very interesting is this logo type. 노동신문 is 1946, and the first round received from the 1957 to full-page Korean horizontal writings at the same time. The title 노동신문 changed the exciting brushstroke, beautiful logo type. This one is one stroke. A two stroke, this one, two stroke, this one. This is, Chinese is formed very similar to Chinese kanji character. And that is a Korean name is new Ming style. Not only North Korea core name is Ming style, and it's a 3-1 monthly type, and it's a Gwangyong type. The same mean. Origin the Korean Ming style is Oroke 1657 wooden block version. This one is confirmation. This slide. Okay, it is stroke. But very important is Changbong style. Is chairman Kim Il-sung. Kim Il-sung is origin since from police name during President Kim Il-sung anti-Japan struggle. According to his analysis for implement was made. Interestingly, his first second round has been improved this analog era, and the fourth round being improved digital electronic font. This new typeface name from fourth typeface is classified differently is during the second improvement. This one is first, second is analog typeface. This one is round is digital font. This light Changbong, light regular bold block lens is European style, very standard and is separate type. Finally, my conclusion. Okay. The characteristics of the typeface is North Korean newspapers provided that has been transformed from mixed typesetting Korean horizontal typeface. The type gives its meaning of styling both is representing the country, history, technology, spirit, and culture. If so, the primary typeface in North Korea has also survived by looking at beginning and of the era on the path of the change is each generation. In this study, conclusion was optimum for the characteristics of each type is evaluated that various Korean font This high competence were developed used for publication in various newspapers compared to the type Korean typefaces appeared in the modern print history of type Japan in China. Finally, by result of this studies restores some of history, cultural, technology, and sleep that have been cut off from history of contemporary type in North Korea. This
Thank you very much, Dr. Ryu, for your presentation. Now, do you have any questions, comments from the audience?
I think the paper is divided two parts. One,
Yeah.
I think I should, you know, one part is the history of North Korean newspapers, and the other part is the history of the typefaces of individual newspapers. I think I'm not quite sure how these two are related. And also you did research on changes of typefaces in North Korea, but like I'm a political scientist, but I also wondering what does that mean? Like you mentioned that it reflects the North Korean culture and social changes, but it's not clear in your paper about how they are related. So, for example, like for me, I use some typeface is good. I don't think I choose specific typeface because probably some technological advancement might influence to my decisions, but but because you are the expert on this matter, so I was wondering how they are related. And also, if you want to publish this, probably you might need some editor, like because a lot of the concept is not properly translated, so sometimes the same concept is used in different words, and there are the things to be. So that's just my question, because we need to end this like in a few minutes, I guess. Yeah. Thank you very much. But I will learn a lot. Thank you very much.